Yeah, we coming down to the wire. And I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rachaha Kodash. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone who told me this truth. A sincere shalom, labakarium, shal yasha'Allah. That's peace to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. This is Ezekiel 3, verse 17, NLT. Son of man, I have appointed you as a watchman for Israel. Whenever you receive a message from me, warn people immediately. And just click on this word immediately, because these warnings are picking up. That means the Lord about to shut this down. You know, us going into the camp, making these videos immediately means straight away, at once, right away. So things are happening so fast, so the videos are moving. That's why the videos are coming out faster, because it's like we got to continue to let you know what's going on, because everybody's not checking this out until it's too late. You know, Jake is always late. Always late. So we warn immediately, straightway, now, promptly, forthwith, you know, this very minute, in an instance, there and then, here and now, in a flash. So that's how these warnings are coming out. Take advantage of the men that the Lord put the spirit on to blow this trumpet, because it's about to go down. If I warn, this is verse 18, if I warn the wicked, saying you are under the penalty of death, and that's what people don't understand. Just like at the time of Noah, the Lord said he looked down and saw the wickedness of man. So we in the same time that the Lord told Noah to build that ark, you know, we building a safe haven. We're doing this work, which is a spiritual ark. And brothers gonna walk into that work you've been putting in for safety, because the flood, the water, the destruction, the Heavenly Father's anger is about to come down on the people. This is Genesis 6, verse 5. And Yahweh saw that the wickedness of man was great, and the wickedness starting with Esau. But the 2/3 of our people, gone, done. The nations, the heathen that's under Esau, finish. Wickedness is at an all-time high. That's why everything is hitting the fan. And we was warned that 2025, they will be talking about nuclear destruction all over the news. Now everything is nuclear this, nuclear that, third world war. This is everywhere now. TikTok, shit going Facebook, people wondering, people prepping, people nervous. This is the time we're in, but it's actually going to happen. So we're not going backwards, we're moving forward, because Yahweh Shah is on his way. So the Lord looked down at this time with Noah, just like he's looking down now. This time is mirroring the ancient world. Tell you in the book of Matthew 24, just like the time of Noah, people were eating, marrying, giving in marriage. Wickedness was at its all-time high. Idolatry, unbelief. Whew, the unbelief that's in the earth. The fool have said in his heart, there's no God. What's that, Psalms 14:1? People don't believe that there's a God. They think a Big Bang created all this, or they just think it just popped up. The foolishness of people. And Yahweh saw that the wickedness of man was great. Said the wickedness of man was great. The wickedness that's happening now is why the Lord about to bring the broom, the sweepers, which are these bombs through, man. It says the wickedness was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of the heart was only evil continually. To every imagination. Let me GNT that. When Yahweh saw how wicked everyone on earth was and how evil their thoughts were all the time. NIV. Yahweh saw how great the wickedness of the human race had become on the earth, and that every inclination of thoughts of the human heart was only evil all the time. All the time. That's all you hear is evil and wickedness in its place. And the Lord is finished. The Lord is fed up. So once again, Ezekiel 3 verse 18. If I warn the wicked, saying you are under the penalty of death. And why? Because of the sins that has reached heaven. The Lord said your thoughts are evil all the time. I mean, you wake up thinking wickedness. In the afternoon, you thinking wickedness. When you go to bed, you're thinking wickedness. In your dreams, there's wickedness going on. Just all the time, 24 hours a day. Even when you sleep, you in wickedness. And what did the Lord do at that time? He sent the waters. He sent the flood. What is he going to do now? He's about to send these bombs. I'm going to play this video here. But this is because of the wicked. Is Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah being unrighteous? No, he's cleaning the earth. He's cleansing the earth once and forever. He will never have to visit planet Earth like this again. Once this second death happens, this is it. The kingdom of heaven comes in play. No other nation will be allowed to get their hands on authority of planet Earth anymore. Esau is the last kingdom of the statue you read about in Daniel's the 2nd chapter, or those 4 beasts in Daniel's the 7th chapter. Okay. At the end of that statue was the EU and NATO, the toes, and then Yahushua came. So the true rightful owner of planet Earth and the universe, might I add, is on its way. And we will be ruling real soon. So it says, if I warn the wicked, saying you are under the penalty of death, but you fail to deliver the warning, so we gotta warn. We gotta blow the trumpet. We hear something, you're blowing it. You see a doctrine that's off, we on it. Brothers out of order, on these camps out of order. You're not using the name, you're not breaking the scriptures down right, you on it. You see destruction coming upon the earth, you on it. The Lord just put that spirit on his men. And if you don't, there's a penalty. So with us warning, we get your blood off our hands. So it says, you are under the penalty of death, but you fail to deliver the warning. They will die in their sins, and I will hold you responsible for their deaths. So we getting the blood up off our hands by letting you know it's about to happen, man. Now, y'all take a listen to this.
Special Envoy Witkoff's deal was their last chance at survival. And now look at what's happening behind the scenes. Jesse Waters just exposed the massive military mobilization underway. This is real. Check it out.
Fox News alert, President Trump making it very clear that if America has to get involved in Iran, it'll end on our terms. And it looks like he's preparing for any scenario. The E-4B Doomsday plane just made an unexpected flight to D.C. The $500 million aircraft was designed to withstand nuclear blasts and keep top government officials safe when threats are off the charts. And it landed at Joint Base Andrews under the cover of night on Tuesday. Right now, the United States has 2 destroyers anchored in the Mediterranean, the USS Sullivans and the USS Thomas Hudner. Both of these $100 million platforms have been shooting down Iranian missiles. To the south is a carrier strike group, the USS Carl Vinson in the Arabian Sea just off the coast of Iran, flanked by 4 warships providing security to U.S. bases in the region, and a super carrier, the USS Gerald Ford. It's on its way and should be on the scene soon.
You know what bothers me about these Death to America chants? You know, it's American. I mean, listen, a little bit over 100 years ago, we didn't even have the most basic rudimentary airplane. Okay? And now the entire world is equipped. Like, the chance of death to America, they make me sick in that way. In no way has American technology not touched every other country in the world. How about a show of gratitude instead of rallies where we chant death to America?
Well, it's I'm just saying that. Well, it was Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah who gave you the technology. Let me just stop him right there. They don't know this. That's the arrogancy of Esau. Someone had some gratitude, you know. Well, they all wondered at the beast, you know, but now the Lord is taking that same technology He's going to use against you. This is Deus 12:4. But thou ordain you, shut up the words, and seal the book, even to the time of the end. And those seals has been broken by Yahushua. So now we can go into these prophecies and prove that we're in the end times, that this is not just an accident or a hiccup in history, and then everything is going to straighten out and reset itself on its own. No, this is going down based on these prophecies here, okay? And these books are open, proving we are at the end. Many shall run to and fro, and that's the knowledge picking up, and knowledge shall increase. So the run to and fro are these aircrafts. You know, like he said, he wasn't even flying 100 years ago. Yeah, the Lord put the spirit on the Wright brothers, you know. I think they flew their first aircraft in the early 1900s. No, what was it, like 1904? Let me see. Let me see something. So, what year was the first airplane flown? Okay, yeah. The first airplane was flown. Let me see something. Not interested. Okay, this is AI overview. The first airplane was flown in 1903 by the Wright brothers. Okay. The first successful flight of their heavier than air aircraft, the Wright Flyer, took place on December 17th, 1903 at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. Okay, I think it flew for like a minute or so, something like that. But this is credited to Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua, not to your arrogant ass Esau, because it tells you right here, once again, it says back in Daniel 12:4, many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. That's everything picking up. Okay, this is NLT. When many will rush here and there, and due to the flight system, yeah, you know, look at the airports. They can rush, they can move. You know, airplanes make things move faster. They had the trains, you know. And they tell you about the quantum technology with the computer system, the AI. So knowledge is tripling, doubling itself every second. But that's all credited to the Lord, because we at the time of the end. It says that many will rush here and there, and knowledge will increase. Okay? So I just wanted to pull that. You know, Esau, oh, they should be credited in America. No, man. Your ass about to be dealt with.
Joyous. The Doomsday Plane, designed to survive a nuclear war. Who does that except for us? 2 destroyers are already engaging with Iranian missiles. A super carrier battle group positioned to strike. Think about what you just saw. The E-4B doesn't deploy for diplomatic missions. This is the president's command center when nuclear weapons are in play. Landing at Andrews under the cover of night means one thing. We are preparing for the unthinkable. The USS Carl Vinson carrier strike group sits on the Arabian Sea. 4 warships providing overwhelming firepower. The USS Gerald Ford supercarrier is racing to join them. This isn't defensive positioning. This is an attack formation. Our destroyers aren't just watching, they're actively shooting down Iranian missiles. The USS Sullivan and the USS Thomas Hudner, each bristling with enough firepower to level cities. They're clearing the skies of Iranian threats. During a press gaggle in Morristown, New Jersey, President Trump was asked about Iranian's foreign minister suggesting that the U.S. should request that Israel halt airstrikes to show seriousness about negotiations. 60 days was a little bit serious. That's too long. They've been chanting death to America for decades. They're lucky that Trump gave them that much. But Trump did also address questions about European involvement and comparisons to the Iraq War's weapons of mass destruction. Of course, they're going to make some stupid claim about some stupid comparison. It's just like Iraq. It's just like World War II. He's just like the Nazis. Take a look at this clip.
It's lucky for this commercial. We got to deal with this.
People are healing from chronic health
they make you
conditions
watch them now.
and even rare genetic disorders during a meditation.
Listen to this.
Mr. President, the Iranian foreign minister this afternoon said if the U.S. is serious about negotiations, that you would call up Israel and request that they stop their airstrikes. Will you make that request?
Well, I think it's very hard to make that request right now. If somebody's winning, it's a little bit harder to do than if somebody's losing. But we're ready, willing, and able, and we've been speaking to Iran, and we'll see what happens.
Mr. President, what was the thought process behind the 2-week timetable?
Just time to see whether or not people come to their senses.
Mr. President, did the Europeans help at all in talking with the Iranians?
No, they didn't help. No. Iran doesn't want to speak to Europe. They want to speak to us. Europe is not going to be able to help us.
20 years ago, you were skeptical of a Republican administration that attacked the Middle East country on the idea of questionable intelligence of weapons of mass destruction. How is this moment different with Iran?
Well, there were no weapons of mass destruction. I never thought there were. And that was somewhat pre-nuclear. You know, it was a nuclear age, but nothing like it is today. And it looked like I'm right about the material that they've gathered already. It's a tremendous amount of material. And I think within a matter of weeks, or certainly within a matter of months, they're going to be able to have a nuclear weapon. We can't let that happen.
Yeah, so you see, things are heating up, man. So we here. And the Lord is controlling this whole thing. The Lord is controlling. I tell you, the Father was going to be working in the minds. He got the angels working. You know, and at the same time this war pop off, that MOTB is going to be slid into this game. And people going to be distracted, man. You know, in the midst of chaos, they're going to make that move, man. You know, this is Revelations 9, verse 14. It says, saying to the sixth angel, which had the trumpet, loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great rivers Euphrates. Now we know the prophecy about the river Euphrates drying up towards the end of the world that you read about in Revelation 16. That has happened. The river is dry, the Euphrates, and the Lord left the name of the Euphrates for a reason, so that we can figure out these locations. Remember, the seals has been broken, so we know these locations. The river Euphrates, we know where we at. Let me see. So let me just show you. This is the river now. The Euphrates River. Yep, let me see. The Euphrates River is one of the longest and most historical significant rivers in Western Asia. They're giving it to you Western Asia now. It flows through Turkey, Syria, and Iraq, eventually joining the Tigris River, which is the ancient river too. These are the 4 rivers. You go back to Genesis, man. You know, the Nile, Red Sea, the Tigris, Euphrates. It says to form the Shaf al-Arab, which empties into the Persian Gulf. The river is virtually for agriculture, drinking water, and eventually support system. It says, but is facing threats from climate change and dam structure. Let me see this here. And the Euphrates is dry right now. Why is the Euphrates River drying up? Because this is biblical. The Euphrates River is at the risk of drying up due to climate change. And the Lord said that river, the 4 angels, let me see something here. They try to get biblical with it, trying to break down, but who was the 4 angels? Y'all ain't breaking this down. Y'all ain't got the spirit. But the Euphrates River is dry. Just like the, let me see, let me get some images here. Just like the prophecy said. Look at this here. It says Euphrates River location. Look, let me show you. Let me see if I can show this one here. I don't know how old that image is, but Euphrates River. So we know that this is a biblical river. There's a reason why the Lord is pointing out the Euphrates River as well as the location. Okay, this is Revelation 16 and 12. And the sixth angel poured out his veil upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried. So the Lord, that's a biblical token. That's a seal right there. That's a seal. So now we can look into the earth, get the location, find out why the river's drying up. They saying due to climate change, but nah, it's due to this prophecy here. So it says, because we at the end of the world, the war, you know, Armageddon. The Lord is gathering the nations. Armageddon, which is hill, God is troops, and the one makes it plural. God is troop, and then God one is troops. So the troops on the hill, Armageddon. And the sixth angel poured out his veil upon the great rivers Euphrates, and the waters thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. And that's what's happening. So the kings of the east, man, this thing, that's why everything is taking off down there in what they call the Middle East. This is GNTD. Then the sixth angel poured out his bow on the great river Euphrates. The river dried up to provide a way for the kings who come from the east, and they coming to fight NLT. Then the sixth angel poured out his bow on the great Euphrates River, and it dried up, so that the kings from the east could march their armies toward the west without hindrance. So the Lord is about to get busy. The Lord is about to get busy. Okay, let me go back to Revelations. The sixth, what was that? That was the 9th chapter. Okay, Revelations 9 and 14, saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. And the 4 angels were loose, which were prepared for an hour, which is a time period, and a day, and a month, and a year, so to slay the third part of man, which is Esau. And the number of the army of the horsemen, and these are the bombs. That's why we telling you about these bombs, man. This prophecy matches the one in Joel, the 2nd chapter, about they all marched on in their way. These bombs are part of the Lord's military. Why do you think he allowed the Smith to create them, the scientists, man, them Germans, to get busy like this, to bring this type of power in the earth? You think the Lord brought this power in the earth just to heat your home? No, they went beyond, you know, enriching uranium just to, you know, live in power stores and building. Oh, man, they enriched that thing so much it became war material, useful for the military. There's the military enrichment, which makes it nuclear. That's what they talking about with Iran. And last night, there was an earthquake. I think they're testing them bombs over there, man. Something went on. Let me look at my earthquake, man. I know they said it was an earthquake reported. Yeah, and 1 p.m., right? There was an earthquake. Let me see this here. This damn thing. Give me 1 second. Always an ad. There was an earthquake in Iran, 5.1, as you can, I'm gonna show it in a second. So something heavy went on over there. They're not saying what it is. You can see Tehran right next. This is where the earthquake hit. This was yesterday. Now this was reported. I got the alert. Now they didn't say anything else. I only see one other channel, an Earth Watcher, reporting it, but they don't know. This was the second one in I think 2 weeks that hit Iran. And the first one, they suspected that they tested a bomb. They said they sent out the nuclear sniffers so they didn't get the radiation. So we don't know. But something heavy hit Iran, man. You know, so the Lord is making moves. Things are happening, you know, while the people out here sleeping. So it's once again Revelations 9, verse 16. It says, and the number of the army of the horsemen, which are these bombs, were 200,000. And I heard the number of them. And these are not the Chinese soldiers, the Chinese military. No, these are the missiles. John looked up and he saw them marching in, like it tell you in Joel, the 2nd chapter. They were on their way because they all have their location. They all have their coordinates. They're locked on their target. They tell you that the missiles that Iran wants to shoot in America, they say they locked onto their targets. These warships that's out there, you know, that's what they do. They put in the coordinates, they put in it, the GPS. All they got to do is turn the key and poof. Like soldiers, they're sent on their mission. It says, and thus I saw the horses in the vision. So the horses represent the power. They were moving. If you ain't watching those missiles being shot, that they shooting, those missiles are moving fast. That's why it's called supersonic, man. Hyper supersonic. 2,000, 3,000 miles per hour, 5,000 miles per hour. Them horses was moving, man. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire. That's the head, the body, and of Jennings and brimstone, which is that fire. And the heads of the horses, which is the warheads, were as the heads of a lion. You gotta imagine a lion with his dome, because that warhead detaches from the rest of the body. You know, there's 3 phases that a nuclear bomb goes through before the final phase, which is detonation. Let me see something here to give you an image. Phases of a nuclear bomb before impact. So to show you, okay, this is AI overview. A nuclear bomb's detonation before impact involves a careful a series of events. It typically starts with a primary stage, a fission explosion, which then triggers a second stage of fusion. Okay, let me see something here. And fission, this is what I want. I want the one when the nuclear bomb driving nuclear. It says, what are the stages of a nuclear bomb? The primary stage, fusion, triggers. There's a secondary stage, fusion. I want the actual missile. The nuclear, let me see. Missile. Let me see what they give me here. The nuclear missiles, okay. The nuclear missile's flight to its target can be broadly divided into 3 phases there. This is what I want here. The 3 phases. The booster, the mid-course, and the terminal. The booster phase, lasting a few minutes, involves the missile accelerating under rocket power. So that's the rocket. You know, you got the silo that it's in, it opens up, then you got the rocket pack. Boom. The mid-course phase, lasting about 25 minutes, is the longest, where the missile travels in a ballistic trajectory, Salakia, through space. Finally, the re-entry, or the terminal phase, lasting about 2 minutes, is where the missile re-enters the atmosphere. That's why it's called a ICBM missile, intercontinental ballistic missile, and its payload impacts the target, which are those warheads. So those are the 3 phases Okay, the booster phase, the mid-course phase, and the re-entry phase. Okay, now it says key events. This is the mid-course phase. The missile reaches its highest point, which can be around 1,200 kilometers or 750 miles altitude. The missile's path is largely determined by gravity, right? Through slightly adjustments can be made, and it's the key phase, which is the re-entry or the detonation or the impact phase. I'm gonna just get an image up here. Let me see what's a good image. So this is what John was seeing, man. You know, this is what he was seeing. Those missiles go off roughly, man. They call arrows in the scriptures, but this is what John was seeing, man. And he didn't know the word missile, okay? So they used what they had. So if he said looked like lion head and the head's hurt and fire was coming out and brimstone, this was the talk in the ancient world. Okay, let me see something here. And this is a warhead here, which we all should be familiar. You know how a warhead look. These are the heads of them that do hurt. And inside the head is several missiles. Some of these heads can hold up to 30 other missiles that hit the target. You got a direct hit, and then you got a mid-air hit. There's two ways to detonate these warheads here. But there's a lot that go on. You tell me the Lord wasn't behind the creation of these missiles, man. This is for the end of the world. It's what we read. Revelations 9 verse 17. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them having breastplates of fire, and this word gets me, junkin and brimstone. And the heads of the horses, the warheads, were as the heads of a lion, and out of their mouths issue fire and smoke and brimstone, which he saw the impact. He saw them coming in. By these was the third part of man. Man is broken up into three parts. You got the sons of God, which are known as the Israelites. Okay, the gods of the earth. Then you got the sons of men, which today will be classified as the heathen. Okay, and then you got the sons of the wicked, which came out of Cain when you go back to Genesis 4. So man is broken up into them three parts, and the Lord is now wiping out that third part, which are you Edomites, who corrupted the world, because Cain's children corrupted the world at that time. And Cain's children today, which are you Edomites, you so-called white people, not everybody that's white is an Edomite. But we know the elite Edomites, those are Edomites. The elites at the top, those are Edomites. The Rothschilds, the Rockefeller, those are the ones that's in charge, the bankers. Okay? They running this whole show. The Lord is removing y'all from authority. That's what we're seeing now. This is what's happening. It says, by these three was the third part of man killed by the fire and by the smoke and the brimstone, which issue out of their mouth. For their power, these bombs, is in their mouth. In the mouth, we consider the head part. Okay, this is how the Lord going to do it, man. Missiles upon missiles, man. Shot over here. I think that now they say the world holds an estimated amount of maybe 9,000. They did a tally on the amount of nuclear missiles. They're not going to give you the straight up number, man. We don't know how many, but it's going to be a overload. The Lord's going to overkill this place, man. For the wickedness. Remember, going back to the wickedness, he did it hard with Noah. It wasn't just a few feet of rain. No, the Lord made the floods come from the top and the bottom. That's where you get the east and the west. Separated the landmass, man. So much water. That was a statement that the Lord said, I'm tired. The Lord is tired of these people, man. So yeah, these missiles is going to be an overkill here, man. And we don't want to be down here. It says, for their power is in their mouth, And their tails, which is that rocket pack we read about, for their tails were like of a serpent, and had heads, and with them they hurt. Okay, so that's cool. The other one, I ain't gonna read the rest. Okay, so that's it. This is just to show you that the bombs, hey, we at that end time. We got the location. This is going down in the Middle East. We got the missiles. We got the men. So everything is in play, man. So what you need to do, repent. Stay repentant. This is Isaiah 9:5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this battle shall be with burning and fuel of fire. The Lord is not playing. The burning is on its way. The fuel of fire is on its way. And these warnings are going to stop. Remember, when you hear a message, you give a warning immediately. But there comes a time when this is about to happen. Right here. Amos 8, verse 11. Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land. Not a famine of bread, nor a thirst of water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh. So these warnings are about to stop. You will no longer get these warnings and these scriptures broken down to you properly, okay, through the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. This is GNTD. The time is coming when I will send famine on the land. People will be hungry, but not for bread. They will be thirsty, but not for water. They will hunger and thirst for a message from Yahweh. See that? Now they want to hear where them camps at. Well, let me push in GMS. I got to find out, is it the mark of the beast? Oh, man, every lunchtime I just walk by them. Oh, my. Oh, it's going to be a lot. You know, some of the same people you see when we do camp. I know people be timing, you know, they be walking by. You know, you see the same faces. Them faces going to be hurting. Because as they walking by, they hearing a message. They hearing it. You know, the Lord word, it ain't no joke. You can hear just a few seconds and it start cutting to the soul. I don't like them. They make me sick, right? But it's going to come a time when you're going to say, but those guys had the answer. It ain't going to be nowhere to be found. It says, they will hunger and thirst for a message from Yahweh. I, the sovereign Lord, have spoken. People will wander from the Dead Sea to the Mediterranean, and then on around, let me read that again, and then on around from the north to the east. They will look everywhere for a message from Yahweh, but they will not find it. And this time is coming. The Lord shuts the words. Noah stopped prophesying. He went, last thing they saw was his backside, his back walking into that ark. And then a door shut. Then the water came. Last thing them people saw was Lot hauling it out of there with his family. His wife turned around. The Lord dried her up to a pillar of salt. They saw that. I know people was panicking. What is Lot? What the? And as soon as the Lot got far enough, the angel said that's good enough. He's far enough gone. It rained fire. So when the Lord shut these words, shut these warnings, okay, no more camps on the street. These videos are being taken down. That's the panic that's going to set in. That's what the scripture's showing you. Now they're going to panic to hear this word. But the trouble starts. You ain't got time to search long because your ass is in trouble. Jacob's trouble, the mark of the beast, your kids being drafted to this third world war. Yeah, that draft is going to happen. They're going to be snatching these kids up. These mercenaries groups going to pop out. They gave you a little taste in LA with this immigration, this ICE stuff. The action is about to start. You talking about you bored and I'm sick of hearing those men. The action going to start. Then you're going to want to hear the men to find out what to do, but it's too late. Shit, we worrying about our own ass. And through the spirit of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, the Lord is not a man that he should lie, neither the son of man that he should repent. So the men of the Lord are good. That's the belief system the Lord put in us, man. We believe what the Lord said. So we're going to end it right there. So things are heating up, man. They moving fast. That mean the Lord is tired. The Lord is moving fast. Giving all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakahakwadash. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. A sincere Shalom, Labakariam, Shah Yasha'Allah. That's peace to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. Lord willing, Akim, the believers, we make it out of here. Shalom.